I am faculty of biology at Learnivio. Okay. I'm basically from biological research background, pursuing my career in research. But teaching is a passion. I like teaching. That's why I teach at Learnivio, preparing, kids for entrances and pre-medical exams and for research careers as well. Let's start with your introduction, just the basics. Where are you from and what do you wish to do with biology as a subject? Tom?
I'm from India actually. Right now I'm learning in Qatar, grade 12.
Where are you from in India?
I'm from Kerala.
Kerala. Okay.
Yes. And in grade 12, I took PCMB, physics, chemistry, math, and bio.
Okay.
And yeah.
You also had biology in your grade 11th, right?
Yeah.
How was it? How do you like the subject of biology?
I like it. It's pretty fun.
Fun.
There's like a lot of facts and a lot of things to learn, but then
Exactly. It is one subject which is very interesting at times and also has the potential of becoming very boring very fast, because there's so much to remember that which is like practically sometimes not feasible for one student to remember everything. Am I correct?
yeah, yes sir.
Do you feel that as well?
Yes sir, for some chapters.
Yeah, I used to feel it when I was in my college and studying biology. Okay, so Tom, let me share a screen with you so that we can just one moment. Can you see the screen that I'm sharing with you, Tom?
Yes sir.
Yeah. Okay, so about biology, let me first things first, let's start with, so this is your trial class, and in this trial class basically I try to understand the student, and the student has to understand my teaching methods. And there are certain things about my teaching methodology that I have developed in last couple of years, especially taking into consideration the online mode of teaching, because online teaching is not that fun as compared to offline teaching most of the times, because you are teaching to a screen. So it's very important to engage students in discussion, right? Otherwise, you just like the teacher just can just get so bored to death sometimes. And also in online teaching, it's more important to engage students in discussion, because otherwise they will not have a attention span to what you are actually teaching in biology. So let's start with the first things first. Tell me, because you know that you have joined late, right? In terms of your school must already have started the classes of biology. In fact, some chapters must also be over there, right?
Yes sir.
So what's happening with your school syllabus currently?
So right now we're in the 4th chapter, Principles of Inheritance.
Okay. You are on the 4th chapter?
Yes sir.
4th chapter is reproductive health, you know that? Because the 1st chapter I think is omitted from your syllabus.
So yeah, it's the next 5th chapter.
Chapter, yeah. So which means chapter 2nd to 4th, which is a part of the reproduction unit, right?
Yes sir.
That's over, right?
Yes
and
sir.
Currently on 5th chapter, right?
Yes sir.
Is your genetics, the beginning, the 1st chapter in genetics, principles of inheritance, right? Mendel and all that thing. Is this chapter also over or it's ongoing?
We're in the, we're still ongoing in this chapter.
Okay, so this is ongoing. Okay. And what is the status of your examinations? You have had your examinations, because I think now must be your summer vacations there.
Yes sir.
Yeah, so before summer vacations you had your examination.
Yes sir, we had one examination.
And what did you already covered in that examination?
The reproductive unit, the reproductive health. And yes sir.
So this is covered already in exam, right?
Yes sir.
Good. So next, when the school will reopen, you will have quiz. You will be quizzed from genetics, like 5th, 6th, and other chapters that they will do, right?
Yes sir.
Okay, very good. So we are here with your school syllabus. And also tell me, if you decide to join Learnivio and study with me, what will be the what will be your preferred days?
I think
And do you have any specific issues with days or time?
yeah, there are some days where I have tuition, so I don't think I'll be able to come on that day. So
Yeah. So,
yeah.
let me know, are you free on weekends to study
I think Saturday I have a double class, so I'm not free on Saturday, but Friday I'm free for now, I guess.
Friday? I think we don't have classes because it's a holiday, mainly in Middle East, right?
Yeah.
Monday and Wednesday. How about Monday and Wednesday batch?
Wednesday also I actually have double class, and Monday also I have triple class. I think I think Thursday and Tuesday is fine.
Tuesday and Thursday.
Yeah, because then those days I don't have double class.
Okay. Okay, we'll try to fix this if we can. Okay, anyways. So let me tell you about my teaching methodology, Tom, quickly, and the kind of classes that I conduct. So my classes have just two rules. One is that you have to be discussive because it's not going to be a monologue. After around 6.5 years of teaching experience, I have realized that the more you engage students in biology, the more they discuss, the more they remember. It's just like it just works the same way as your other memory rules work. When you see a movie, even if it's do you watch movies?
Yes.
Nolan and stuff, which is very difficult to understand, like Inception kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So even that kind of a stuff, when you watch it, you don't have to sit with the script and remember what you watched, right? In order to understand the concept or the characters or the plot.
Yeah.
Becomes easier. It just stays in your memory because you were an active part of that movie. For that matter, when you were watching it, you were actually engaging with what the director or the storyteller wanted you to engage in with. So the same thing works for studies as well. The more we are engaged in discussions, so you will, whenever I start with any topic, we start from the basic scratch. I assume that you know nothing about it, and then we start building upon it. Okay. For example, if we are starting with DNA, we'll start from the very basic thing. Like what is it, and then going to the structure, and then folding, and then packaging, etc. Okay.
Yes.
So it has to be a discussion, and I'm sure that you will be good at it because you have no problem discussing or speaking in class. So in biology, basically, Tom, see, there are two kind of questions that are asked that I have realized. One is what. There are lots and lots of what questions in biology. What is this? What is that? What is X, Y, Z? Define this, define that, as 1 markers and 2 markers, right? Lots and lots of what is asked. And what makes biology difficult sometimes, or as you said that, bulkier sometimes to remember, is the terminology, right? Biology has its own terminology. It uses certain words which we do not study elsewhere. We do not use it in our daily life. We do not use it in our conversations. We do not read it in other subjects. So it's exclusive to biology, and that's where it becomes difficult. So certain things like, concepts of speed, you use the concept of speed in your daily life as well, right? But you might not be using the concept of karyokinesis, or cytokinesis in your daily life. You understand? So that's where it just stays localized to the textbook of biology and becomes difficult. So to understand terminology in the subject is very important. And to do that, what I do is I teach through this terminology oriented method, where I ask students to maintain a separate copy for the subject, and either the first few pages, let's say 4-5 pages, or the last few pages, okay, that you have to keep vacant. You have to keep those pages empty, and on those pages you will create a terminology section. Okay, so you will write terminology and its meaning. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Basically, these are those words which are heavily technical terms used in biology, but are used everywhere and they mean the same. For example, you must have studied in your 11th class cell cycle and cell division, right? About cell. Also in your 9th class, you must have studied that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you remember in cell, what does the word cyto refers to in biology?
Cell.
Yes. And if I say what is cytoplasm? So you know that this part refers to cell. What does this part refers to? Fluid.
Fluid, yeah.
Yeah. So what is cytoplasm? You don't have to mug up the definition now. It is the fluid content of the cell, which is present inside the cell. Okay, that's why it's called cytoplasm. Now, knowing that the word cyto refers to cell and plasm refers to fluid, if you have this in your terminology, and the best thing is, by the end of your syllabus, you will have compiled your own mini dictionary of biological terms that you have prepared yourself. You understand? So
yes,
this is how it becomes easier. And now you know the meaning of two. Now, if I ask you, what do you think, cytokinesis means? So at least you know that the word cyto here, this component means
cell.
Cell, because it's same in biology everywhere. What does the word kinesis means?
Division.
If I tell you that it means division, right? You say division?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So do you know what does the word cytokinesis means now?
Yes, sir. Cell
division. Did you have to memorize it or mug it up as a definition?
No.
No. Now, you know, plasma means fluid. And if I tell you that there is something called plasma membrane, can you figure out what kind of a membrane it is? What is it?
It's a fluid membrane.
Yes, it's fluidic membrane. That's why it's called plasma membrane. And the other name for plasma membrane is cell membrane. You know that?
Yes, sir.
And cell membrane is best defined through a theory which is called the fluid mosaic theory. Yes?
Yes, sir.
If you know that this fluid mosaic theory explains cell membrane, and that's why cell membrane is called plasma membrane, because plasma means fluidic or fluid, then it's clear, right? One concept, you do not have to mug it up. You know that the plasma membrane is not a rigid substance like a wall, like the walls of our house. It is very fluidic. So the proteins present in the membrane can change their shape, can move around because it's a fluid membrane. Correct?
Yes.
So things become easier when we go through terminology. And as a matter of fact, the more you will study biology, the more you will discuss biology, the more terminologies you will learn. Okay. And then things will become easier. So this is the first type of questions that are addressed in biology, the what questions. Is it clear, Tom?
Yes, sir.
The second thing which is left then, if you understand what part, is for your boards and entrance is how or why. Like how something is happening and why something is happening. You know, how does the blood flows in our blood vessels, or why does RBCs do not have a nucleus? These kind of questions. Now, these questions either are asking you about a process, if they are how, or a reason, right? If they are why. In both these cases, you just have to discuss the logic. So the inherent logic of any subject, including biology, is same. Whatever you are talking about or whatever is happening should make sense to you scientifically. And biology as a system, when it was evolving, and even now when it functions, it does the same thing like you and me will do. So if there is a problem, okay, and if I ask you, so this is the problem, how would you go on to solve it? You will apply some logic to it, right? That if I do this, then X part will be solved. Then I can combine it with this so that the other part is also solved and the problem is solved, right? The same thing happens in biological cells. If there is any problem, they just try to sort it out through the most logical way possible in evolution. So for this, how and why, I do active discussions in class. Okay. We just do not remember things for example, let me tell you a story. There is a molecule called hemoglobin. It carries oxygen, and that's how oxygen gets to each and every cell. Okay. That's fact. What is the reason behind it? Why only hemoglobin can carry oxygen? Why not any other molecule in the blood? What is special about hemoglobin? If you understand the inherent reason, you will never forget the process. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So these are the two things, major components of my teaching that I do in the classes. So I hope this will work and work with you as well. And what I can suggest you is, let me reach, someone will reach back to you regarding the batches, and most of the batches that I am also teaching here are either on chapter 5 or chapter 5 is done and chapter 6 has started. Okay. So either way, you will not lose much, but I will ask you to do something. Okay. So this is your first class. And I'm asking you to do some homework, kind of some revision based homework. Okay. So we'll start from genetics. Okay, Tom?
Yes, sir.
Chapter 2 to 4, it's not like we'll leave it because it has to come back in your final exams. And we will try to, accommodate that also in the teaching. But we'll figure about this later on as you move closer towards your final exam. And for this, you can get your hands on my recorded videos. Okay, so my lectures are recorded. It's with the Learnivio team. So they will send you my recorded videos, links for these chapters. Okay. And then you can watch it on your own whenever you are free. Make your notes, understand the concepts. And if you have any doubts, you can bring your doubts even from these chapters when you come to class. So I take doubts in the class before and after. 10 minutes before I start the class, and after I stop the class, I ask you if you have any doubts. So there you can bring up these doubts one by one if you have any, and we will solve it. Okay.
Yes.
For chapter 5 onwards, I want you to revise from your own school notes or from the same my recorded lectures or from NCERT. You have to revise certain things. So can you please note this down before you come to my class? Just get these things a little bit revised in your head. Okay. So basically it's the basic Mendel laws. There are 3 laws given by Mendel: law of dominance, law of segregation, and law of independent assortment, right?
Yes, sir.
And along with laws, only one law is universal, which is called law of segregation, correct?
Yes, sir.
The other 2 laws are not universal, which means they have their exceptions in biological systems. So you also have to see the exceptions of first and third law. Okay.
Yes.
Now we will discuss in class, or if you can figure it out on your own to discuss with me. Why does second law does not have an exception? Why it is universally accepted? Because just knowing that, second law is universally accepted, it will be a fact, and facts are difficult to remember, but reasoning and logic is easier to remember. So the question is why second law has no exceptions, that we will discuss. If you can figure it out, good. No, if you cannot figure it out, no problem. Just revise Mendel's law and the exceptions. Apart from that, 2 very important topics that you have to revise is linkage. Has it been done in your school? Linkage and recombination?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So just revise this, linkage and recombination as well, because this is the SOP, like the selling point of sexual reproduction. Remember, right from the beginning in biology, you must have been reading, hearing, and giving as answers that sexual reproduction is just like cloning. All the offsprings are same. They do not have variations. Asexual reproduction. Whereas sexual reproduction has variations. There are gametes that fuse and give rise to new variations, right?
Yes, sir.
This is where the variation comes from, the recombination part. And linkage is an exception of the Mendel's law, but they are studied together for a reason. So just revise this. And then I think currently you will be on the last part, which is about the pedigree analysis, right? Have you done pedigree analysis and genetic disorders?
Yes, sir. We are in that part.
Okay, so pedigree analysis, whatever you have done, just revise that. and genetic disorder. This I will take up in the class. Okay, genetic disorder. So when can you join the classes from? If you join the Tuesday, Thursday batch, is it possible for you to join? Today is Thursday, right? But you will not. Will you be able to join today?
Today, I don't know.
Okay, then Tuesday. From Tuesday, can you join? Because we can do genetic disorders then.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so you decide and let the team know. So accordingly, we can move with respect to the syllabus. So this is what you have to revise before coming. So do you like the teaching methodology? Do you think it will work for you? Are you up for it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And please do this part as well. Just revise these laws. And let me tell you one important thing about, so when you will be studying genetics, also with respect to pedigree analysis, do you know what is a Punnett square?
Yes, sir. Use and monohybrid and hybrid.
Yes, through which we study the monohybrid and dihybrid cross. So are you familiar with monohybrid and dihybrid cross?
Yes, sir.
How do you find that part? Can you easily make the crosses or do you find it difficult?
It's easy, sir.
Okay.
They just draw the boxes and.
Yes, right. You just have to segregate the gametes, draw the boxes, and then cross from Y and X axis and make the combinations. So also, just go through monohybrid and dihybrid cross once, okay? Because when you will be doing the exceptions, you will see that in monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross, we always figure out two things: phenotypic ratio and genotypic ratio, right?
Yes, sir.
The word phenotypic, again, terminology, it comes from the word, the word pheno is always associated with visible characters. Okay. Phenology. What do you think will phenology means then? There's a branch of biology called phenology. The word
the study of visible characters.
Study of outer visible characters for any organism is called phenology of that organism. And the word genotyping, or it is related to the genetic makeup. Okay. Now these ratios are different when they follow law of Mendel, and they are different when they are undergoing exceptions of law of Mendel. Okay, so that's why I'm asking you to just revise this so that this stays in your conscious when we are doing the remaining part of the chapter. Okay, and if you have any doubts right from the first class, doubts are welcome, more than welcome. They are appreciated. So you bring up with as much doubts as you can from anywhere, from your NCERT, from anything you observe around you with respect to genetics or reproduction or with respect to biology in general. Every doubt is welcome. Okay, Tom?
Okay, sir.
Sounds good?
Yes.
Do you have any immediate question or doubts for me right now?
No, sir.
No? Okay. Then hopefully I'll see you in the classes. Okay. And please convey back, reach back to the team from where you must be getting messages from a number, right?
Yes, sir.
So contact them back and tell them about your days. I will also write it to them. And hopefully I'll see you in the classes. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Chalo. Bye-bye.